Now, pending no change in schedule, though historically it has been done before, so I'd say it's maybe a toss-up, but pending no extension to Weekend 1 of the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer beta, what's next for fans going into Weekend 2, since Weekend 1 ends tomorrow? What new stuff can we expect? When can we expect to see it? Today I want to break down some of the things here that I've seen firsthand we're still missing in order to keep you in the loop with everything still upcoming. Wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow Infinity Ward puts out a blog post or something detailing the coming changes for Weekend 2, but for the time being, from what we had at the Call of Duty Next build of the game, which was the beta build, today I want to run down what you can expect. So as we go along, drop your thoughts below. Anything in Weekend 2 that you're really looking forward to, anything that stands out, whatever the case, drop your thoughts. But if you enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare 2. We've got a lot upcoming still with the beta, and of course on that road to launch shortly to follow, leading up to the launch. If you'd like to stay in the loop with everything and join us on that road to 500,000 subscribers, I'd love to have you. And finally, we're back at it. If you'd like to come hang out and chat Modern Warfare 2 or whatever else you'd like live, we'll be live on Twitch tonight and getting back into the swing of things here leading up to the launch. So that link's in the description below. For now though, let's take a look at Weekend 2 and what we can expect of the Modern Warfare 2 beta. So right now it might be common knowledge, but for the sake of being thorough, with the beta ending tomorrow morning, afternoon, evening for you, depending on where you're at in the world, that PlayStation exclusive first weekend, again, assuming no extension or anything like that, that'll conclude at that point. But it'll pick back up currently as scheduled on Thursday the 22nd for an open beta state, free to play for all PlayStation users once again, but then in early access the first couple of days for PC and Xbox who have a code of some kind. The open beta will kick off on the 24th, but for those on PC, your account, if you have a code, will automatically be credited for that download, which preloading could happen as of Wednesday. But for Xbox, keep an eye open. If you don't have a digital version of it, keep an eye open on your inboxes for where your account is registered to end up getting that download code, and then potentially start pre-downloading again on Wednesday. Now, as for changes and additions here coming, well, at this point, we'll be subjected to the full beta offering over the course of the next couple of days. As it seems right now, we'll have one final level cap, perhaps, in which we'll be able to jump up to level 30 and grind out the game to that point, which as an added bonus, that means you can end up accessing all of the rewards in-game for beta participation. For those unaware, the beta rewards are actually already available in-game to use. The current level cap of 15 ends up allowing you to use the X13 side impact, and with this new level cap, you'll be able to use the Floret vehicle skin available in Ground War, the Collision Operator uniform, and the Frontal Impact TAC 56 blueprint at level 30, among some other things. But honestly, when we talk about level cap, totally honest, I'm a little surprised that we haven't seen a sort of progressive rollout here like we have in the past with this, where we started at like say level 10 and then a couple of days into the beta we got 15, and then maybe next week it'd be like 25, and then finally rolling it out to 30 for the last couple of days. That's something we've seen in the past, but this time around it seems like it might just be one and done in terms of level caps for each weekend, 15 and then 30. However, at the point of Weekend 2 here, everything that you see in the beta will be unlockable and playable, but at the same time, naturally that's not everything coming to the game, bear in mind. The one thing that I am really curious about is how much of this is condensed for the beta's sake, and how much will there be actual genuine expansion upon in terms of adding more content compared to launch. Because if you think of it, we have tons of perks, field upgrades, lethals, tacticals, kill streaks, and so that could be our total number that we see in the full game. But when you look at weaponry, there's hardly any weapons. The majority of weapons are from weapon platform systems and aren't their own standalones, so I'm curious to see how many that's going to end up working out to be come launch. I can't imagine that they add too many more streaks, perks, or anything like that, but I also can't imagine them not adding more weapons come launch. But anyways, as for the weapons, that also means you'll have the Lockman platform now fully unlocked. Of course, it is or was accessible via a glitch that's been patched, but if you have it still available on your classes, you can still rank up everything and unlock it as you go along. But the Lockman platform, that 7.62 battle rifle, the 5.56 AR, the RAP LMG, the LMS, and the sub, those will all be unlocked, as well as other weapons like your TAC 56, which that one might have been my favorite of the early access play sessions at COD Next. The 74U plus that are both pretty good, and to be able to get attachments on them, hopefully that's fixed out on the 74U, to be able to get attachments on both of them is definitely going to be pretty nice. Definitely try those out. And then, of course, the Fennec, Saiken, Lockwood Mark II, and the Signal 50 will all be usable as well, depending on where you're at in regards to your leveling progression. Now, we've seen a handful of different modes here already introduced within the beta. We have TDM, we have Domination, Search and Destroy, Prisoner Rescue, Knockout, but come Weekend 2, we will see more included in that. We'll see Hardpoint right now that's actually available in the third-person game mode only, but I would imagine this is something that is actually in that regular quick play filter because we were able to play it at COD Next in a first-person perspective. Invasion is going to be a new game mode here introduced, which kind of seemingly is going to bridge the gap between 6v6 and Ground War. It's 20v20 as described, but with bots in it on Ground War maps. So making it a little bit more higher pace, perhaps more condensed playstyle, but not to the full Ground War experience, if that makes sense. Personally, I didn't get my hands-on experience with this. Others were playing it, but they only played one match of this between Ground War and Battle Royale, and my match was still going on of Ground War before we switched over to BR, so didn't get time to personally try that out, but it should be a smaller version of Ground War with bots. Again, a little bit more faster paced here with that. And then Ground War, well, honestly, that's what I think I'm most excited for here out of beta weekend 2. Getting the chance to play on Sarif Bay, offering up larger scale combat. Ground War and Modern Warfare 2019 was my jam for the longest time. It took a while for, I think, there to be some stable map sets that I really enjoyed playing in the 6v6 and sometimes 10v10 category in Modern Warfare 2019, but Ground War was always there. So excited to jump in and play on that. That was honestly some of my favorite gameplay also out of the next event, so excited to see that again. But as for that, any additional maps on deck? We have a couple of modes, of course, offering up new ways to play for 6v6 and larger, but any new maps? I mean, we do have Sarif Bay, that is one that is coming here with Ground War, but that's kind of tethered to the map. In terms of 6v6, it's interesting though, because with the recent development in Grand Prix's removal on all avenues, if you guys haven't heard, Grand Prix was a map that was mentioned to be in the beta from the announcement at COD Next at the Call of Duty League Championship here a couple of months back. And since then, we've seen teasers, we've seen mentions of it coming in the beta. That's all been retroactively removed. So I'm curious what this means for the map overall, because surely it doesn't look to be in the beta at this point now, but I'm curious what that means for the map at large. It kind of smells like a legal thing, not necessarily content being bugged down or anything like that, but I'm wondering if F1 cracked down on it, given that the map was based on the Singapore Grand Prix track on, you guessed it, the Marina Bay Street Circuit. So licensing there might have been an issue. If that's the case, again, I'm wondering what that means for the larger picture come launch and beyond. If they can just repurpose or rename parts of the map, or if it's going to be withheld entirely. Hopefully not the latter, but we'll see. Museum is another weird one because in the 6v6 format, that's the only other map that we don't have right now. That was taken out after day 1 for some reason. I don't know if I've heard any explanation as to why, but that could be something that's reintroduced here with weekend 2. But right now, that's kind of 50-50. Now, that's all the content we can expect to see here coming that we haven't seen thus far in filling out that offering that was previewed at COD Next for the full beta build. But what about some other stuff? One thing that I'm very curious about is the Nuke potentially coming in a patch. Right now, industry insider and leaker Ralph's Valve has rumored that this will be coming in a patch for the beta at some point. But why I'm kind of leaning towards this might actually be a possibility is that the DEF CON nukes were actually in the Ground War experience at COD Next. So it was available in that build. And it'd be kind of weird to have a nuke in that regard, but not one for the 25 or 30 gun streak, depending on where they go with it this year. So we'll have to wait and see how that all shapes up. But outside of that, we do know we'll see some adjustments here likely coming, like the chopper gunner movement issues being fixed out. I'm very much so anticipating overall spawn logic adjustments. The spawns in this game so far have been far from perfect. Honestly, I think some of the spawns in like Mercado might actually be some of the worst domination spawns I've ever seen. But those are much easier to fix as opposed to like underlying framework for the game. So that's stuff that I would expect to see here as well. As for some hopeful changes, kind of on that sort of topic of discussion for spawns, one thing that I'd like to see is some hopeful changes to the domination spawns, not just overall, but more so your starting points as well. Kind of seemed like they were trying to reinvent the wheel a bit here. I mean, Mercado spawns are like sideways as opposed to what you'd expect. Normally you spawn with that flag, that home flag you'll end up capturing, but instead you're on the sides of them, which also then makes the home flag on the apartment side basically spawning on B flag, which gives it severe advantage right up front. And then Farm 18 also has some weird ones where that South Street spawn has a quicker jump to B flag and also a quicker jump to overlook that A side lane. So that's something that I'm hoping gets fixed out. Maybe we adjust those where they're more symmetrical, but we'll have to wait and see. Beyond that though, that is where we're at. Hopefully Infinity Ward gives us some more insight, some more information as to what's upcoming, if there's anything beyond this. Because right now, while I do know that they were trying to save any communication for having meaningful messages and not stuff that can just be misconstrued or taken out of context, we haven't really gotten anything from Infinity Ward just yet out of the first couple of days of the beta. Their Reddit thread for Home of Feedback and everything like that has 2 singular replies to it. Their Twitter has only been active in regards to doing the updates on a daily basis for game modes and maps on offer. So fingers crossed there's a little bit more communication here in regards to that, but beyond that, that's where we're at. So let me know your thoughts down below. Are you guys looking forward to anything in particular? Are you hoping to see something that we haven't quite mentioned here, or do you think we missed something? Whatever the case, drop your thoughts below. But if you enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing running all things Modern Warfare 2. We've still got a lot upcoming, so I'd love to have you in the community if you'd like to stay on top of all of it. That said, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.